going on, guys? That's good stuff. So, a lot of stuff going on lately. Some weeks ago, we had the shooting in Vegas, where you had a possessed psychopath decide to shoot up a concert full of people. Then a week ago today, you had another possessed psychopath decide to go shoot up a church full of people in Texas. I got a couple of things on those topics that I want to discuss, and I got a couple of points I want to try to make in all this, so hopefully I won't ramble too bad and it'll come across. Vegas. Vegas is one of those examples of you just never know when or where crap's going to go south. Now, I got a lot of questions about Vegas. Some of you would probably say I've got my tinfoil wrapped a little too tight. Which I try not to, but sometimes you got to wrap it a little snug. For all these weeks, we know jack crap about what happened in Vegas. Fast forward to a week ago today. Guy shoots up church in Texas. And within 1 week, we know virtually everything there is to know about this guy. I mean, like, all kind of detailed information about him. How is it that in 1 week we know far more about that one than we do about the Vegas shooting? Why do we still know? They still have not released a motive for the shooting in Vegas. We don't know anything, and by anything I mean in the grand scheme of things, about the shooter, what was going on there. Really weird things have happened in regards to that case. It's very bizarre. It's one of those things that if you're not concerned or upset, you're not paying attention. It's kind of that level. Now, just keep your eyes on all that stuff, because some of that is starting to be a little bit convenient and bother me. And of course, the scum-sucking slime balls in D.C. still, as is, SOP for them, the bodies aren't cold before they're dancing on top of them, screaming for gun control and everything else. And as you guys see all the time in all the little meme pictures and comments that go around, one person does something bad with a gun and they want to blame all the hundreds of thousands of gun owners that didn't do anything bad with theirs. Doesn't make any logical sense, but we're not dealing with logical people here, right? So, let's jump to Texas. Now, not every situation is going to benefit from the same set of rules. Let me just say that up front. You have to take every situation for what it is. But in Texas, you had a case where the point was proved that when you're confronted with evil, you destroy it. That's how you stop it. Everybody, how can we stop this from happening? You meet it head on and you destroy it. That's the only way. You're not going to prevent evil from being evil. Cain killed Abel with a rock. I mean, at the very first murder in, what most people consider recorded history. Evil is always going to do evil. You can't legislate it into submission. It's just not going to happen. It's a criminal by definition is someone who doesn't follow the law. So passing new laws that the criminals aren't going to follow to begin with does nothing to stop them from doing their criminal actions. I'm preaching to the choir, I know, but saying it anyway. So in Texas, it wasn't the military that stopped the guy. Wasn't police that stopped the guy. It was a gray-haired saint sitting in his home that when he heard the sound of gunfire, he grabbed his own and ran towards it. And he stopped it. Now, I've already seen on forums where small-minded nitwits like to Monday morning quarterback and second guess everything the guy did. To me, that's just stupid. Now, there's a difference between learning from something and just Monday morning quarterbacking it. The guy did what he felt was the right thing to do with what he had in that immediate moment. He didn't have the access to 20/20 hindsight in that moment. He had to deal with what he had and what he knew right then. He grabbed his rifle, grabbed a handful of ammo and a magazine, was loading the magazine as he was running towards it. Saw the guy, put rounds on him. Stopped him. He stopped the killing right then. Maybe the guy wouldn't have killed anybody else. Highly doubt it. He was set to try to kill as many people as he could, or he wouldn't have been equipped the way he was. So in my mind, and a lot of professionals' minds, Mr. Williford stopped any further loss of life or injury dead cold when he fired that shot to hit the guy. That's how you stop it. He didn't stop to research what the legal ramifications were going to be. He didn't stop to research, well, what are the chances this guy's going to sue me if I shoot at him? He didn't worry about, are the police going to shoot me when they respond? He didn't go into it with the attitude that I find quite pathetic and disgusting of, well, my gun is just to defend me and my family, and everybody else is responsible for themselves. He was more a man than people like that think, the people who think that way. He was more a man than they'll ever be. He wasn't worried about all that crap. He was a bad guy doing bad things, and he went and stopped him. Point blank. He didn't get shot by police. He didn't go to jail. He's not being sued by the family of the now dead waste of oxygen. May the worms enjoy feasting on his bones. He didn't run out guns a-blazing like a Rambo. That's another thing I can't get. You guys on some of these forums and stuff, they make out like when you try to have this conversation that that's what everybody's wanting to be. Oh, you're just wanting to be some hero and run out there guns a-blazing and blah, 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 and you're going to get yourself killed doing that and kill somebody innocent. I'm sure there's probably, occasionally somebody who thinks that way. But by and large, most people that I've had those conversations with, it's exactly what he did. Not waking up that morning looking for something to get involved in, but it showed up on my doorstep and I dealt with it. That's it. You can't be worried about all that other stuff. Because if he would have been worried about it, a lot more people might have died. A bunch of police officers might have died. Heck, the guy could have killed a bunch of police officers when they responded. Who knows? We have no way of knowing. So, since we've got no way of knowing, then we should, based off the information we have, establish that yes, he stopped further killing. What lessons can we learn from what he did? Well, I think lesson number one is keep some loaded magazines around for your rifle. Number two, keep some way of having something that those loaded magazines are in so that you can grab it and have more than one magazine of ammo with you. Quick, easy, and simple. What are some confirmations that we can take away from it? Well, we can take away one confirmation of accuracy counts. You notice that Mr. Williford didn't just show up and start doing a mag dump at the guy as fast as he could. He stopped, took well-aimed shots, and connected those shots with the target he was shooting at. He didn't just dump 30 rounds and, blaze away. He aimed. Make those shots count. So the takeaway there is get out of the habit of doing all this mag dump crap at the range. Work on your accuracy. Work on your accuracy constantly. Every time you pull that trigger, you need to be working on accuracy. Sight alignment, trigger control, breathing control, etc. Another confirmation is, even with body armor on, somebody's not invincible. You start shooting at them, you can very well save other lives because they will know they're getting hit. Ask guys that have had body armor on and gotten shot over in Iraq, Afghanistan, law enforcement, wherever. It's not like the movies where things just hit and bounce off and, oh, I must have got shot. No, even with body armor on, you get tagged with a centerfire rifle, and even a handgun really, you know you've been hit. It will get your attention, and you will feel it. So you start putting accurate rounds on that guy, he's going to start paying attention to where he's getting shot from. That leads into the next takeaway. Stop spending all your practice and range time standing in the open, perfectly squared up to a stationary target. Start practicing shooting and reloading from behind cover. Under something, around something, over something if you have to. It's not preferable, but sometimes that's the only choice you got. But you're going to probably have to shoot from a position other than perfectly still, standing up, squared up to your target. I know that's what everybody practices at the range. I've done it myself for years and dozens of training classes. That ain't how you're going to fight. You've heard me say that before. But then that begs the question of, How many of you have actually trained and practiced shooting from behind cover? Have you practiced peeking out from around something to take a shot when you're crouched down trying to hide? Because you're going to have a lot better chance of being successful if you make it harder for the guy to see you, and then harder for him to actually hit you if he does see you and start shooting at you. That brings in using cover. If the guy hasn't seen you and you're behind cover and you can start engaging him and him not know where he's getting shot from, that alone can reset his OODA loop. Go look it up. For him to try to figure out where he's getting shot at from, versus you just standing in the open shooting at him where he can readily identify you. But again, shooting from behind that cover is not going to be squared up to your target. Go try shooting around the front tire and engine block of your car. Go try shooting around a wall from behind a tree. The only thing you may have is a curb. Go practice shooting prone out behind that curb. Every little advantage you can give yourself helps. But you also got to practice shooting from there, because a lot of things change when you have to start getting into awkward positions to shoot your gun. Go try it, you'll see. I'll take the opportunity right here just to say that having served and having worked in and around law enforcement at different times in my life, I have a complete and utmost respect for everybody in those professions. But it's common for there to be a bit of machoism in the military and law enforcement circles, that they're the ones that run to the sound of guns and everybody else runs away from them. For the most part, that's true. But there are exceptions, because there are those in the military and law enforcement that when the bullets start flying, they do end up going the other way. I think those are few and far between. But the inverse of that is not true. There are plenty of people out there who don't wear a badge and don't wear a uniform, like Mr. Wilford, that will run towards the sound of guns without a moment's hesitation. Without a moment's hesitation. Criticize them all you want, but I personally say thank God we've got people like that. So I guess I'm trying to get it at multiple points here and just rambling on talking to y'all, because I'm just chilling out enjoying my afternoon for a couple of hours here. Points of takeaway from this. Evils walking the streets every day. Follow the old Boy Scout motto and be prepared. Be just as prepared to deal with a random situation that pops up in the course of your day as you are in your preparedness for a much larger catastrophe to happen and the crap to hit the fan. Because something like that, the crap hit the fan for those people involved in those two incidents. Small scale for the rest of us because we weren't directly affected by it. But you may be one of those people that's affected by one of those little situations. We may all be affected by a much larger one. Unfortunately, we got to be prepared for all of it, from the daily incidents all the way up to the global incidents. It sucks, but that's what we got to do. Another point There's screwy stuff going on. Some of it quite questionable. Both of those shootings raise a lot of questions in my mind. Won't get into them all here, but a lot of them do. All my YouTube buddies, y'all know exactly what's going on right now, don't you? Y'all know exactly what's going on. Why is it always a plane or a lawnmower? It's always one of those two things. Anyway, I digress. Pay attention with a wary eye of these events that are happening. Be prepared for stuff to happen to you every day. Get out there and practice things that you're normally not practicing. Don't get wrapped up in the defensive square range mentality. Say a prayer if you're so inclined for the people who do have to step up and deal with those things every day, whether they wear a badge or a uniform or not. Because like I said, Mr. Williford wasn't wearing one. I mean, the poor guy commented that he couldn't even go out of his house to a memorial service because of the media and stuff hounding him. That takes a big psychological toll on somebody after what he just witnessed and went through. And being a man of good character, even with all that, he still says he'd do it again in a heartbeat didn't even hesitate. He'd do it again. So, I guess that's my cue to wrap this up and stop waffling on about it. But evil walking the earth all over the world right now, guys. Got to be as vigilant and prepared as you ever were, from just your day-to-day life all the way up to the long-term, larger scale stuff that we talk about. I pray that none of us ever need it, be it the skills, be it the preparations, whatever. But I hope that everyone that can be is prepared physically, mentally, etc., if you ever have to deal with some of this stuff. I don't think there was any other points I wanted to try to make. I know we just kind of rambled here, but again, this was just me sitting down and talking out loud with what was on my mind to you guys, and figured I'd just record it and share with you, whether you were interested or not. But obviously you are interested because you're still watching this. If you weren't, you wouldn't be watching. What's coming up? Well, let me check the list here. Oh yeah, yep. Got some good stuff coming up here on the long to-do list. Showed y'all that. Another video recently. Yeah. Try to start getting to some of this stuff. Things should be slowing down a little bit for me here in the coming weeks, with the exception of, good God, it's the end of the year. Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming, and everything that goes along with those. And I'll be honest, November and December are really my two favorite months of the year anyway. With the exception, January is one of my favorite months too. So I'm going to try to start getting in on this stuff and getting more videos up for y'all. Start trying to knock that list out. It's going to be hard once again because Thanksgiving and Christmas, getting the guys together to do the stuff I want to do is going to be a bit of a challenge. with family events, that sort of thing going on, but we'll make some stuff happen somehow. Like I said, I'm getting things somewhat settled down on my end and making some progress on some stuff that should help better free up and utilize some of my time. Oh yes, donations. Some of y'all have made some donations to the channel. Thank you very much. And even you guys that have just made little $1 and $5 donations, that still means the world to me. I'm humbled by it, because the fact that you're willing to give a little bit of your money, hard-earned money no doubt, to me just to support this channel, that means a lot to me. So again, thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Trying to put it to good use. There's some things that I'm looking to try to do that might help towards, and if I can make them happen, a couple of good videos I want to get up on what I do. Again, it's just going to take time, doesn't it always? There's something else I wanted to cover, but I think we're going to do another video on that, because this one's drug on long enough. Stay prepared, stay safe, keep on keeping on, guys, and we'll catch you in another one.